Yo, what is up guys? This is Pedro here, and in today's video I'm going to be giving you guys 4 players that impressed in Week 3's loss to the Cleveland Browns. If you guys are new, subscribe for Washington and NFL content. So let's get right into the video. And even though we did lose 34-20 to the Cleveland Browns on Sunday, there were a few positives. So I'm going to give you guys like 3 or 4 players and then give you guys a couple honorable mentions. So first, let's start off with Montez Sweat. Montez Sweat was an absolute beast on Sunday. If you watched, obviously you know he had 1 sack, he had 4 total tackles, 2.5 tackles for loss, 4 QB hits, was great in the run game as well as the pass game, and really should have had 2 sacks. I mean, he forced Baker Mayfield to throw an intentional grounding, which lost them 10 yards and the loss of downs. So he played really good, was probably our best defensive player, and yeah, was an absolute beast. And something interesting that I saw that Pete Haley tweeted out, he said it took Montez Sweat more than half a season to reach the 2-sack mark as a rookie. He's already there through 3 weeks this year, and yeah, that's really impressive, and I think he's going to reach that 10-sack threshold this year, maybe even more. We'll see. I think he's going to get around, 8 to 12 sacks, but we'll see. Especially with Chase Young being out, it is very important that Montez Sweat produces at the level that we want him to produce at. The next player, and he didn't shine, he didn't have a great, amazing game, but I thought Isaiah Wright played really, really well. He was his first game being active and actually playing. The first game of the season, he was active on the roster, but didn't play a single snap. And week 2, he was inactive. This week, I think he started on offense, or at least got way more playing time than Steven Sims, had 4 catches for 24 yards and averaged 6 yards per catch, got a bunch of first downs, and he also rushed for 6 yards. And I think part of the reason he got a lot of playing time was because Steven Sims was hurt, so they didn't want to play him much. But I really liked what I saw from him. He got us a bunch of first downs, and really everything, all of his catches were screen plays, but he still was able to get some yards out of nothing on some plays, and I really liked what he did, and I hope we, continue to use him, and, maybe every week or so expand his role a little more so that he's not just doing screen passes, because, it's going to start to get predictable. But, I really liked what I saw from him, and I think he's an undrafted rookie. It's crazy that he wasn't undrafted free agent, but I think he can be a solid piece for us, and maybe end up the season 400 plus receiving yards, and he's a threat out of the backfield too. So I would like to see some jet sweeps out of him, and possibly even some punt return duties. He's really elusive. He kind of makes some guys miss, and I want to see how he does in that role. Who knows how his ball security is, but I really liked what I saw from him in the screen game in week 3, and I'm excited to see what he'll do in the future and how his role expands. Nothing crazy, but 30 total yards, and that was pretty solid in my opinion. So next guy. Oh, and here's a quote from Ron Rivera. He said, Isaiah Wright has been excellent. He really has. You've just seen the progress each week, and that's what you're looking for, is growth. So, yeah, he really likes him. The next guy, this guy is obvious. Everyone knows how great Terry McLaurin is, and he put on a show again. Terry McLaurin, and this is a great stat, Terry McLaurin has been exceptional so far this season. He, per ESPN, is number 1 among all receivers in yards after catch at 176. DeAndre Hopkins is at 166, despite having twice as many receptions as Terry. I think it's something like 11 yards is his average after catch, which is absolutely insane. Look at this. He had 4 catches for 83 yards, 20.8 yards per catch. Absolutely insane. He got targeted 8 times, really would have had like 91, 92 yards if they wouldn't have called that OPI on him. But, he played really well, and Terry really should have had 120 yards and a touchdown or 2 if Dwayne would have hit him, and then I really think they should target him a little bit more, probably around, 8 targets is okay, but I felt like he was winning a lot of his battles, and, you got to get him a little bit more involved in the screen game, because those are easy passes for Dwayne to make, and you saw on that kind of, it wasn't necessarily a screen, but it was a very short pass, and he was able to get like 15, 17 yards. I want to see more of that from Scott Turner, so he instills confidence in Dwayne, and also, it's an easy throw. If Dwayne can't make that throw, then, we've got some problems. So I really liked what he's been doing. I want to see them targeting Terry McLaurin down the field a little bit more. They really haven't had any long plays for Terry. It's been a lot of short plays, some, slants. Dwayne has missed them deep. But yeah, that's the 4th player. I think those guys were, oh, no, actually, that was the 3rd player. The last guy, sorry about that, is Jonathan Allen. I thought Jonathan Allen had a quiet, sneaky game. He had 9 total tackles, 7 solo tackles, 1 sack, 1 tackle for loss, and 1 QB hit. He played really well. He got another sack. I think he's at 2 sacks for the year, and I thought he was a good, threat in the run game as well as the pass game, and it's his 4th year, and it's good to see his consistency, and hopefully he can stay healthy for this whole year and possibly get 8 to 10 sacks. He's not a huge sack guy, but he's gotten 8 before, so I think if he can get around that range, that'll be very nice. But yeah, he played really well, and I'm excited, like all these other guys, to see how he progresses through the season, because they are doing pretty good, the defensive line, but they are, again, adjusting to a new defensive scheme. So they're going to get better and better as the season goes on. So those are the 4 players that I thought shined. I'll give you guys a couple, honorable mentions. Someone that I thought played pretty well, and he's just been consistent. He's played pretty well all season, is Daron Payne. He hasn't been putting up the sack numbers, but he's not really that big of a sack guy, but he had 5 tackles, 3 solo tackles, a tackle for loss, and he had a lot of pressure on the quarterback. He's amazing in the run game, just a great overall nose tackle. He doesn't fill up the stat sheet, but he does really well at his role, and I'm really excited to see what he continues to do, because he is still young. Another guy that I thought, played pretty well again is Antonio Gibson. Still limited in his carries, only 9 carries. I really think he needs to get a game where he gets, 15 carries to see what he really can do. He had 9 carries for 49 yards, 5.4 yards per carry, and a touchdown. He also had 3 catches for 11 yards. So, he's involved a little bit more in the pass game, him and J.D. McKissick, but he also ran the ball pretty well. So I want to see his role increase a lot more. They only had 22 rushes, which, is a little bit less than normal, but they gave 3 carries to Peyton Barber, which I really don't want to see Peyton Barber get the ball much. I think Antonio Gibson is a good enough, goal line back. He's already gotten 2 touchdowns on the season. J.D. McKissick, I'm fine with that 5 carries, but, I want to see Gibson get around 12 to 15 carries a game in the next few weeks, and maybe even more as the season goes on. But those are my players that I thought impressed the most. Like I said, there's a couple others, but we'll see as the season goes on. Let me know if you guys want me to continue this series. I thought Dontrell Inman also had a good game, limited time or targets. He got targeted 6 times, but had 2 touchdowns and 38 yards. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know any players that you think I missed or any players that you agree with. Again, thanks for watching. Subscribe if you guys are new. Turn on those post notifications so you never miss a video. And peace.